Shit. The fuses again.
Disculpen alumnos, vuelvo enseguida, nuevamente.
Where were we? Oh yes, the blood alcohol concentration.
Recoge las muestras del rotor de la centrífuga. He vuelto.
Let's see what we've got here. Everything's separated as it should. Our lab is closed until tomorrow after the last, incident. However, considering that Toby's favorite eau de parfum appears to be ethanol, I'm guessing the results won't surprise me at all.
Los que no saben, el etanol es un compuesto que altera alcohol.
Let's go further. We will now focus on the cardiovascular system, specifically the heart.
Vamos a verte cómo está el cocoro, muchacho.
We remove the organ and examine it closely. We look for dark hypoxic areas, clots, or other elements that stand out as abnormal. At first glance, the heart looks fine. The pulmonary trunk and aorta seem to be in good condition. There are no pathological changes that would have contributed to Toby's death.
Tronco pulmonar y aorta correcto, sin cambios patológicos. Corazón sano, sin indicaciones para pruebas transversales. Ah.
Now let's take a closer look at the stomach.
A ver tu estómago.
Size is normal, healthy, pink color, and as expected, the stomach has no major external damage. We must now cut it open and inspect inside. We will do it carefully so that its contents do not spill out. We open the stomach along the greater curvature, from the heart to the pyloric end. Ugh, my head. Oh, I can't think straight. Pills. Where are my pills? Oh, I already feel like there's something left inside. Okay, large amount of gas, small amounts of yellow, grayish food content, resembling some kind of meat. Either our deceased hadn't eaten in days, or the bulk of his stomach had already found a way out. Looks like I'll have to find the missing contents.
Uy. Necesito tomar mis pastillas un momento. Vamos al baño, vamos al baño. Ah, qué dolor de cabeza. Mucho mejor.
There are two ways here. One is obvious, and the other is... It couldn't have been suffocation, could it? I'll add this to the list and move on to the deceased's neck.
En el estómago se han encontrado grandes cantidades de gas, líquido y restos de alimentos no digeridos. El contenido del estómago indica una digestión interrumpida. Una broncoaspiración de émesis, tal vez.
At first glance, the trachea looks normal. Same result as with the stomach. The external inspection doesn't tell us anything. This time we'll cut on a tray.
No presenta daños externos, requiere proseguir con la disección, inspección.
While cutting such a small organ as the trachea, we must make a precise incision.
Tráquea.
To be able to cut with the very tip of the blade, we must hold the scalpel as we would a pen.
Ya no. Pero ya corté. ¿Qué más quieres que corte?
And after careful examination and deduction, we've got it. A clogged trachea. It's time to summarize the whole thing.
Murió por asfixia.
Based on the report and preliminary documentation, it's safe to assume that the deceased passed out after consumption of alcohol and then fell asleep on his back.
Boca arriba. Y con la gravedad, la émesis se regresó para
Then, the
vías
gastric
respiratorias.
contents refluxed and flooded the airways, causing death.
Murió por asfixia.
That's why we don't forget about the recovery position at dorm parties.
El fallecido probablemente se quedó dormido o se desmayó tras haber ingerido una gran cantidad de alcohol. Su concentración suprimió las señales del cerebro que controlan el reflejo faríngeo, lo que provocó un atragantamiento. Entonces, murió por un accidente.
And now it's all clear. The death was suffocation. Now, signature.
Dr. Taylor. Pum.
The mystery is solved. But for us, this is not the end. First, the dead body needs to be cleaned up. For this, we will need to close the body and grab the needle. First, we unroll the skin flaps. And then, we sew the deceased back up. I'm using the baseball stitch technique. This stitching method is very strong and quick to do.
Y rápido de hacer. A mí se me hace que solamente lo está grapando. ¿O no?
Beautiful. Now we say goodbye to the deceased and put them safely in the fridge, ready for the next stage of their journey. God, I'm tired. I'll drop these samples off at the lab on the way to the bar.
Dirígete a tu coche en el aparcamiento. En conclusión, no tomen.
I'll call Steven. I don't feel like drinking alone today.
Qué bonito. Ahead. Capítulo 1.
Forgive me. What? Ah, fuck. take my pills.
Mis pastillas. ¿En dónde están? Baño, baño.
So much light everywhere.
Aquí están.
It's a shame this won't help with my hangover. The fucking phone. It's just too dirty to use. Okay. I know I'm late. I'll be there soon. It's not like the dead are impatient.
Jack, no.
Alice? Who is this?
It's Charlotte Graves.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I didn't recognize you. I thought it was work calling.
It's okay. I hate it when work calls me at home, too. How is everything? We haven't talked since... you know.
Well, there are good days, and there are bad days. What can I say? At least I can hide away at work.
Well, you always were the most comfortable in the dissecting room. Listen, I have an unusual request.
Okay, how can I help?
It's nothing serious. I just wanted to ask. Do you have any pictures of Alice? Maybe one where the two of us are together? I'd love to have something to remind me of her.
I guess. I'm not sure. I'll look through her things.
Thank you. I'm sorry to trouble you with this. All this can't be easy for you.
I'll get through it somehow. I've been meaning to sort through her stuff for a while. Have you asked Stephen if he has anything?
Yes, I spoke with him this morning. He said he gave everything to their mother and that I should ask you.
I see.
Jack, I know you're trying. That you cope somehow. Stephen's there for you. Although, well, we all know how he can be. But, I mean, if you wanted to reminisce about Alice, talk.
I really should go now. I overslept, I'm late for work, and I still have some errands to run on the way.
Oh. Okay, sure. Sorry to keep you.
I'll look for something and send it over. Thanks for the call, and bye.
Oh, do you have my address?
Not on hand. You'd best remind me again.
292 Browning Lane, apartment 432, Johnson City, New York, 13790.
Got it. Thanks.
Thank you. It would mean a lot to me. Just miss her so much.
Yeah, me too. And that's okay. Really, no problem.
Thank you. Take care, Jack.
You too, Charlotte. It was nice to hear you. Well, that was a bit unexpected. I should probably find something to send.
Supongo que estará la hermana o la amiga. Ay, ¿qué fue eso? Claramente la esposa de este señor ha fallecido y se siente culpable.
Nah, I'll shower later. I wasn't able to support her through this.
Oh. Estaba embarazada.
It's always good to have something for a rainy day.
Uy, ojalá yo tuviera este dinerito.
She always believed she could change people for the better. Even me. It was a miracle that the coffee didn't wash off the writing. And that she said yes.
¿Qué dice aquí? ¿Qué dice aquí? ¿Quieres casarte conmigo? Uy. Will you marry me?
She got it for her first day of work, and she broke it the same day. She said it was for luck.
Un bolígrafo. Pues aquí no está lo que busco. Aquí.
Alice and Charlotte in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Wow.
It would be better if Charlotte had this. It deserves to be on display, and not hidden in a drawer. These were from Thanksgiving. Stephen invited me. I was going to give them to his mother, but then I met Alice. That was the first time I saw her.
Muchas gracias, Alice. Busca una foto de Alice y un sobre para enviárselo a Charlotte. My love.
It's been almost a year.
¡Qué troste!
Time flies, and probably doesn't have to get up to work.
¿Y en dónde encuentro el sobre? Aquí no, obviamente aquí no.
I really need to get this laundry done.
Aquí.
Okay, time to go to work. I'm seriously late.
Ya la carta en el buzón.
Some days, I just feel like setting fire to all this paperwork. I'm fed up with it.
Uy, la Torre Eiffel. En París. Mi esposa era doctora también.
An indispensable element of every office. I should really try and read a few of these.
Pero vístete primero, ¿no?
I really need to get this laundry done.
Va a salir en bolas ahí afuera.
I should grab some coffee and ask for away.
Me gusta esto. No entiendo. No entiendo.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Maybe they'll finally fix that door. Oh, for fuck's
No puedo abrir.
sake. Maybe they'll finally fix that. I hope this helps, Charlotte. Okay, all done here. Time to go.
¿Cuál es mi coche? Este.
Damn, I forgot my jacket. Ah, well, I'll brave it for tonight. Too bad.
Pues pasará un poco de frío por ahí.
Nice and fresh. At least it's peaceful here. Good evening, Mr. Ridley. Has Steven delivered the body?
Mm-hmm.
Did he leave it where he usually does?
Uh-huh.
As always, it's a real pleasure talking to you.
If you say so.
Some corpses have more personality than this guy. Christ. Who leaves the window open in the middle of November? So I'd better check the answering machine.
Compró el buzón de voz de la oficina.
Hi, Jack. I dropped by a little early today. I left the body with Ridley in the corridor. He wasn't sitting in the locker then, so maybe he'll even throw him into the room. Well, how are you doing? I mean, it's your first birthday without her, and... I still have a hangover, and you know me, I run to the John like the neighbor's fucking dog. You know, today I slipped on his shit again. That fucking furball. He always has to shit next to my car. Anyway, I can't come over in the evening, but we'll catch up on the weekend, okay? Bye. I almost forgot. Charlotte called me this morning. She asked about you, so answer your calls, Jack. This time it's not a reprimand for being late.
That's par for the course. I wonder when this clown will learn to look under his feet.
Inspecciona el muffin. ¿Qué es el muffin? ¿Qué es el muffin? Inspecciona el muffin.
Birthday.
Ah,
I actually forgot it was today. Alice baked me muffins like these every birthday. Okay, joke's over. Apron, gloves, and get to work.
¿qué te nota?
Due to a lack of preparation, this time the lecture will be improvised.
Busco unos guantes.
I need to order another batch of these. I've got to remember to do that later. Ah, man. I remember you. You were on that talent show. What was your name again?
¿Y tú cómo te llamas?
Steven laughs at me for recording everything. He says I have a bigger collection of stuff like this than most of the creeps he's caught. November 21st, 1991. Time, 9:13 p.m. The autopsy is conducted by Jack Handman. Lecture for the Medical University of Missouri. After yesterday's lecture, you should already know the ins and outs, so today we'll be consolidating our knowledge. So, where do I start? That's right, police folder. Ah, yes, Samantha Barker. Now remember, there's probably gonna be a lot of chatter about this. Found in her own apartment by police patrol. Officers were called by a concerned friend of the deceased, who had been unable to contact Barker for several days. During the interrogation, a friend of the deceased admitted that Samantha never got to grips with the sudden fame that came after winning such a high-profile talent show. The deceased was found in her own apartment, in a semi-recumbent position on an armchair. Large quantities of alcohol and empty packets of sleeping pills were also found in the apartment.
Una sobredosis, tal vez.
After her first album became a commercial success, she was hit with a creative drought. She suffered panic attacks and severe sleep problems. Drugs and medication came into play. When questioned, friends admitted that Samantha's last days before losing contact seemed extremely happy and relaxed. She also quit drinking alcohol and mentioned something about rehab. The friend also admits that there was no indication of an impending tragedy. Well, let's see what settled this matter. As you can see, the body is fully clothed. Therefore, before we move on to photographic documentation, we must remove the clothes. This time, we don't have to focus on the clothes too much. However, there are cases where a clothing analysis can lead to the cause of death.
Uy.
Okay, now we can continue with the examination. Again, begin by taking photographs of the cadaver. I guarantee that over time it will cease being embarrassing for you. First, we photograph the whole body. And now, any suspicious looking marks or wounds.
Bien. Marcas o heridas. Primeramente, aquí en las manos.
Yes, I've seen this many times.
El cuello. Estrangulamiento. Se intentó ahorcar también, ¿o qué?
Interesting. Very uneven. We need to investigate this.
Moretones. Hematomas.
You don't get such bruises from a normal contusion.
Uno de dos, o te o te desviviste, o te asesinaron.
Well, there's even more here. A few we will need to look into here. Notes prepared. Time to take a closer look. Some furrows have imprinted more strongly, others less, as if someone was undecided. The number of bruises suggests that there may have been some kind of tussle. And here's something interesting. The skin of the deceased is covered with numerous blisters. Some of them are ruptured. Others still contain fluid residue.
Quemaduras. Puede ser.
Such bruises are caused by either a very heavy blow or by some internal issues. More numerous blisters. We have some leads to investigate here. Let's write this down. On the neck of the deceased, we can see clear furrows, indicating that strangulation may be the probable cause of death.
No lo creo. Yo creo que murió más bien por la sobredosis.
Currently, it's difficult to say whether the bruises were the result of a beating or whether it could be some kind of internal bleeding. Given the condition of the deceased, it's difficult to tell immediately whether the bruises were the result of a struggle or perhaps the result of iron deficiency. In general, such blisters usually appear in the case of mechanical abrasions, but due to the place of occurrence, this should be excluded. The most likely cause of such skin changes is the high concentration of barbiturates in the body. Although it's easier to have abrasions on your feet, but the number and size of the blisters suggests that it's probably a matter of barbiturate poisoning.
Barbitúricos.
The examination with a UV lamp will dispel some doubts. Potential attackers could have left traces.
Barbitúricos.
A severed spinal cord, trauma to the larynx, or trachea will verify whether the hanging was the final nail in Miss Barker's coffin.
Moretones.
After examining the organs, we can easily verify whether there was internal bleeding or whether the deceased was suffering from something. To be checked in the lab later. I'll add barbiturates to the list of necessary tests. Given the testimony of the victim's friend, I add alcohol poisoning to the list of potential causes of Miss Barker's death. A blood test will no doubt quickly verify that hypothesis.
Posibles causas de muerte. Implicación de terceros. Autodesviación, sobredosis y alcohol.
But first I'll check for external traces. For this we use the good old UV lamp.
Rayos ultravioleta. ¿Los tengo por aquí?
I look carefully at the whole body. UV rays will reveal any traces. The area around the head is empty. Torso, empty. Right hand clean. Legs, there's nothing here.
No, no hay nada. Pierna izquierda, pierna derecha. No hay nada.
The left hand seems to be fine. No marks. Well, nothing to surprise us here. Now gently, we take the deceased by the hand.
No sé por
And we
qué
check for rigor mortis.
realiza el rigor mortis. Rigor mortis.
Again, the hand falls freely. Since we don't have a definitive lead, we will examine all the key organs one by one. So, I'm starting the internal inspection.
Bien, bien.
I dissect the skin of the deceased.
Corte en Y. No me interactúa bien.
And I proceed to deflect the skin flaps. Compared with yesterday's body, the deceased has only trace amounts of adipose tissue. Now for the ribs.
Ahora las costillas con costótomo.
What do we have here? Or rather, what don't we have?
Pulmón.
There is certainly no sign of internal bleeding. Before I disembowel the deceased, I will take samples for toxicological tests to determine the alcohol content in the body. I just need my syringe. Just to be sure, I'm taking samples from 3 organs: the eyeball, the heart, and the bladder. Analysis will rule out, or confirm, alcohol poisoning as the cause of death. I'll transfer these to the centrifuge. My old but trusted centrifuge. Ideal for all the fluid tests I need to perform during an autopsy. My old but trusted centrifuge. Ideal for all the fluid.
Ok. Ido a la oficina para
What was
el
it?
cuaderno con los valores
15,
necesarios.
70, 10,
Era 15
75.
minutos. Y
Numbers have
70%.
never been my strong point. It's probably why I regularly forgot birthdays and anniversaries. I'm lucky Alice always forgave me.
Por donde soy malo con los números. Tiempo, 15 minutos. Pero gire.
Gently does it with this old thing. Handle with kid gloves. I'm starting the centrifuge. Let's see what results come out. The laboratory is already open, so... Fucking hell! Ridley! Mr. Ridley! The fuses need resetting. Where is he? Fuck it. I'll do it myself.
Compruebo los interruptores del almacén.
Another kidnapping this month.
No veo nada.
Another kidnapping this month.
No veo nada. Ah. Aquí.
First the right, and then the left. And voila.
¿Y esto qué es?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Jack Hammond speaking.
Easy, why so rude?
Steve? Sorry, man. This place is falling apart, and Ridley won't even lift a finger to help. You just can't work here.
Did the centrifuge strip the fuses again?
Yeah, eventually everything's gonna go up in smoke.
Look on the bright side. It's a free cremation with your autopsy.
Jesus, stop it. That shit pisses me off.
Okay, sorry, Jack. Anyway, I'm calling to ask how the autopsy's going. Soon there'll be journalists sniffing around for info, so you best be ready.
I'll whiz through this in a couple of hours. It doesn't look like a complicated case to me. More of a formality. The report will be available in the morning.
Sounds great. Thanks. Phew! How's your head?
Well, my head seems better than yours. On the way to work.
Holy fuck!
What? What's happening?
Quiet!
A 3-car police convoy was involved in an accident near Pete's Bay Bridge while transporting prisoners to Orleans Parish Prison. At the moment, we do not know the exact number of victims or whether any of the convicts escaped. However, the scale of the accident indicates a large number of victims, possibly even fatal ones. Police are on their way to investigate the incident and secure the area. We know that the injured prisoners are on death row. The police were to transport them to their execution, which was to take place tomorrow morning. Many of them are very dangerous criminals. We will report on the matter on an ongoing basis, so stay tuned with us.
What? Was? Steven, was Red Pete one of the passengers? He was, wasn't he? What if he survived?
Jack, I have to go. You want me on site?
What if he survived?
I gotta go. Talk to you later, okay?
Fuck. Calm down, Jack. Pills.
Me
I
duele la
need my
cabeza.
pills. You heard him, Jack. A serious accident. Lots of victims. Yes. Nothing's going to happen.
De verdad, ya tomando pastilla con unos guantes sucios.
Christ. I've got to get back to work.
Seguramente ya te contagiaste. Oh. No me cerréis la puerta. Supongo que el asesino de sus esposas es el que se ha escapado.
Technical break. At least I know I can pursue a career as a janitor if I need to. Alright, let's see if we were able to get anything out of this piece of crap. And miraculously, yes, the samples did spin. I'll transfer them to the chromograph in the lab.
Coloco las muestras en el soporte. Y el soporte en donde está. En el laboratorio.
All right, let's load this up.
Voy a cargarlo. Aquí.
I placed the test tubes in the rack. Now, just take 5 milliliters from each.
5 de cada. Preparar pipeta.
Precisely.
5 mililitros. Sí.
And the next.
Ahora 10 mililitros de líquido. Así.
Five more.
Para 15.
We put the prepared sample into the machine. Let's see what we have here. The results indicate that the deceased did consume alcohol shortly before her death. However, this is not an amount that could cause poisoning leading to death, just slight inebriation. I can return to the body and continue the rest of the examination.
De esta forma descartamos la causa de
The
muerte por
chromatograph
alcohol.
results show that we can eliminate alcohol poisoning from our list of potential causes of death. However, remember that alcohol can affect the functioning of the entire body.
Eso es verdad.
It disturbs the heart rhythm, accelerating its rate, and dilutes the blood, which may result in more severe bleeding in the event of an accident. Also remember that alcohol affects the metabolism of drugs in the liver, which I'll now look at in more detail. First, I'll pick up the syringe again. I'll take samples from the liver and the heart to test the concentration of barbiturates in the body. That's enough. I'll do the test later. I'd best not try my luck with the centrifuge right now. Now I removed the liver.
¿Dónde está el hígado? Hígado. Vaya formita del hígado.
No lesions. However, it is slightly enlarged.
Está inflamado.
Perhaps it's a slight inflammation or drug-induced damage. It may also be the result of the deposition of substances from drugs. Let's check the weight of the organ. The weight is 1,300 grams. The liver is enlarged. I'll move on to a cross-sectional study. Perhaps the enlargement is the result of early cancerous changes. The blade glides through smoothly. I don't feel like I'm encountering any changes with an unusual structure. No steatosis or cirrhosis. The liver is actually quite clean inside. The liver is basically healthy. We already know that the deceased didn't abuse alcohol. The question is, what about drugs or other substances? I move on to the heart. Oh, at a glance, we can see signs of a heart attack. The deceased is definitely too young to have a heart attack due to natural causes. The liver is enlarged, not from alcohol poisoning, and the heart looks like it has collapsed. So, I guess we need to go to the centrifuge and check for these barbiturates.
Sobredosis. Marca los daños del corazón en el portapapeles. 5. Ya me bugueó. Músculo cardíaco dañado con tejido cicatricial desarrollado. Deberán realizarse más pruebas en el órgano para detectar un posible infarto de miocardio debido a una sobredosis de barbitúricos.
I wonder how she was able to get hold of these drugs. The last time I saw this kind of poisoning was a few years ago. He was a middle-aged guy. He took his medication and forgot about it. So he took another pill. He forgot again and took another one. And another one. Until he took the last one. That's why it's better to have amnesic drugs in boxes labeled with the days of the week. This sort of thing rarely happens anymore. Doctors tend to prescribe benzodiazepines. They are safer, but still shouldn't be combined with alcohol.
En sí, ningún medicamento se tiene que mezclar con alcohol. Ah, ese no es. Y ahora ya no 70, es 60 tal vez. No. Ajusta los valores correctos en ambos diales y empieza a mezclar. Presencia de alcohol en la sangre. Tiempo 15 minutos, velocidad 70%. 10 minutos. Tampoco es. Entonces, ¿cuál es? Presencia de alcohol en la sangre. Tiempo 15, velocidad 70, pipeta 5 ml. Ancho, no. No me dice, no me dice, no me dice. 70, 15 minutos. ¿Y ahora? Minutos, velocidad 70. Pero eso estoy haciendo, ¿en qué estoy fallando? ¿En qué fallo? sea, velocidad 70. Aquí. Tiempo 10 minutos, velocidad 75. Allí.
We close the centrifuge and pray that it doesn't trip anything again. It looks like our luck is in. We can take the samples to the lab now. Okay, 2 samples this time. 6 milliliters each.
Ahora serían 12.
Well, let's see how much of it we find. Nothing surprising. Significant amounts of phenobarbital metabolites of hepatic origin. Looks like I'll have to check the contents of the deceased's stomach. The tests showed that the collected blood contained enough barbiturates to cause cardiopulmonary collapse. The question now is whether it was an accident or a deliberate act.
El músculo cardíaco dañado con tejido de cicatrización, alta concentración de barbúricos.
I'm proceeding to examine the stomach. Before extraction, I ligate the entire organ to prevent its contents from spilling out. Okay, I'm now cutting out the organ, which will move to the board for dissection. Normally, the stomach and intestines are full of surprises. But not this time. We see remnants of undigested food and a dense mass of pills. You don't take this many drugs by accident.
Claro. Sobredosis, claro. Ya lo sospechaba.
Length and width normal. No obvious pathological changes. Undigested drugs found in the stomach of the deceased. The direct cause of death was probably an overdose. I'll check the rest of the organs, and then the nervous system. We'll see how significant the marks on the neck are for the whole case. Lungs are normal, no lesions. The victim was probably a smoker, but was unlikely to be in any serious danger. The deceased's trachea is normal, complete patency. No food or fluid. The deceased's intestine is normal, no clear pathological changes. Abdominal cavity checked off. We can check the brain. I make a cut to open the lid of the victim's skull and remove the brain. brain is normal. No obvious lesions. Alright, I need to dissect it on a board. Using a knife, I carefully cut through the brain tissue. As expected, the deceased's brain is in excellent condition. No discoloration or changes due to hypoxia. There is still the matter of the marks on the neck. They look superficial, but who knows? Maybe the spinal cord has been severed. I need goggles and a saber saw. I think the goggles were in the desk drawer. Alice.
Roger.
Saw. I need saw. Oh, I know. I probably left it in the basement after its last cleaning. Mr. Ridley, I need a key to the basement.
It's in the social room.
Why is the key lying at the... never mind. Thank you.
Hey, Hammond. Did you hear about the convoy? Well, maybe you'll get a chance to relive your glory days and catch Red Beat again, huh?
Let's hope there won't be a need for that.
¿Y cuál es la sala común? Esta. No creo.
If only he could put that much enthusiasm into his work.
Aquí no creo. Sala común. Aquí.
I get the feeling that searching through this rubbish is more pathogenic than working with corpses. Please, may this be the last trip. Fuck. Why did the prison convoy have to get into an accident? Jack, take a deep breath. Deep, pleasantly cool breath. Finished with the autopsy. Then you can go home and rest. I'll check. Fuck! It's jammed! Doesn't anyone do maintenance around here? Damn hatch. Damn red Pete. Light. If only. Forgot this thing was standing here. It would be easier if I put things away properly.
Finaliza el examen de la columna. Vaya, vaya.
Damn student lectures and their fucking props. Sorry for the short interruption. I hope you all took the opportunity to grab some coffee. And now that I have everything I need, I'll move on to revealing the spinal cord. The spine is removed. I can see that the spinal cord was not severed. This shows that apart from the marks around the neck, hanging didn't negatively affect the condition of the deceased. Ladies and gentlemen, almost over. Now, to sum up and tidy away the body. The direct cause of Samantha Barker's death was a heart attack resulting from an overdose of barbiturates. Traces found on the body suggest that the overdose was a deliberate act, following a failed attempt to hang herself. The autopsy found no evidence or genetic materials indicating that death could have been the result of an attack. Third-party involvement must be excluded.
Entonces fue un suicidio, técnicamente.
Autograph, and we can start sewing. In the 1950s and 1960s, the use of barbiturates for suicide was actually quite common. I think it was most talked about after the death of Marilyn Monroe. At home, it was a help and comfort. On death row, a farewell to the convicts. Well, that's the way it goes. It isn't the drug, but the dose that makes the poison. Well, we're done for today. Thank you for your attention. Tiring day. I can feel those hunger pains coming on. I guess I'll have to pick something up along the way.
Me voy. Al fin terminé con el trabajo.
A
Me
nightcap
voy.
will do me good.
Claro que no, una copa. Una copa.
Good night, Mr. Ridley. The police will pick up the body and accompanying documentation in the morning.
Sure.
Este men dice que
I
se va a
guess
tomar
there are
una
actually
copa.
two things in this world you can be certain of. Death and Ridley's reluctant attitude.
Que se va a tomar una copa y terminará tomándose varias botellas.
Alright, maybe three things.
Se va con los
Like whiskey on the
guantes
rocks when I get home. So cold. I guess I should have brought my jacket to work.
Al final sí se tomó solamente una copa.
This block can be quite intimidating when it's so quiet.
¿Cuál era mi habitación? ¿La cuarta? ¿La tercera?
What? What? What the fuck? But I locked it. I'm sure of it.
Me robaron. Capítulo 2.
Who the fuck did this? I don't have anything valuable. Money. They must have stolen the money.
Mis medicinas. Vamos a las medicinas. En serio, vas a caminar, vas a hacerme caminar así. No puede tomarse las medicinas.
Great. That's all I need. Fuck!
No está mi dinero.
What if it was Red Pete? Where? I need my pills. I can't get my thoughts together. Christ. Why did the neighbors not report anything? I'm calling Steven. Steven?
Now, Jack, I told you I'm going for a drink with you for another night in a row.
That's not why I'm ringing. Although I could do with one. Someone broke into my apartment.
What? Did anyone see anything? Have you called the police yet?
No, I don't think so. Anyway, no one contacted me. As for the police, I'm calling right now, officer.
All right. Do you want me to head around? Look for any trace evidence?
I don't know. No, I guess not. Honestly, I don't have the strength to deal with it right now. I just want to lie down.
Are you sure? Because it's no trouble at all.
I think so. I'm sorry. I just wanted to calm down a bit. I don't know. That's probably some stupid joke. Only money was stolen.
Money? From Alice's box? Oh, fuck. Listen, I can come over. I have the key. I'll drop by, do what I need to do, and you go get some sleep.
No, don't trouble yourself. Lately, I've been just so tired and distracted. I don't know. Maybe I forgot to close the apartment door on my way to work. If anything else is missing, I'll let you know and call the police.
All right. Just make sure you close it tonight. If you see anything weird tomorrow, let me know. Whoever did this may be watching you.
I don't think anyone is dumb enough to come back.
You're probably right. Take care, Jack. If you need anything, call me.
I promise I will. Thanks, Steven. Sorry to bother you again. I've just been all over the place lately.
It's not a problem. Good night, Jack.
Good night. I guess I should clean this shit up. Where to start?
Últimamente estoy que no estoy.
I'm glad this didn't break.
Apágate tele. TV, apágate.
To be honest, there you go. Maybe I could bear it. I should pack this thing up. Now I'm sure I won't. Alice's family should really have some of these. That's enough for now. Jeez, I'm exhausted. I'll get the rest in the morning. That's enough. I need to quickly change and finish getting ready.
Bien.
I'm gonna be late for work again. Got my keys, got my files. Check. Oh yeah, I should take my pills. I feel like it takes me forever to finish these things. Time to go. Remember to close the door properly, Jack. I'll ask the neighbors tomorrow if they saw anything suspicious.
Ugh.
Fix the coffee machine.
Qué desorden. ¿Cómo? He vuelto a mi habitación. Qué rarito.
Maybe a bit optimistic. I'd better grab a coffee on the way. I'm exhausted. I wonder who Stephen brought in today. Good morning, Mr. Ridley. No, he's not here yet? No, I'll deal with Adam. I hope he... Oh, come on. He was too lazy to even wheel the gurney to the autopsy room.
Tendré que llevarlo yo. Vámonos.
Almost there. Now for the tough part. The body needs to be moved. Where's Ridley when you need him? Alright. I just need some gloves and my apron. Then I can get to work. I'm going to need my tape recorder for this. Autopsy dated November 22nd, 1991. 7:32 p.m. Led by Dr. Jack Hanman. I begin by verifying the identity of the Jane Doe. It's most likely Harper Lloyd, age 35, found in a well-owned house by her neighbors Leonard and Dorothy Chelsea, reported missing for a week. It is also known that the deceased was diagnosed with affective bipolar disorder. Harper was placed on drug therapy, which she dropped out of fairly regularly. During her treatment, she was under the care of her common-law partner, Richard Benson, professional truck driver. The last person who had contact with the deceased was her partner. Harper's last message. Police records also show that Mrs. Lloyd was in constant conflict with her neighbors. The constant parties and subsequent brawls made living in the area nearly impossible, especially when Lloyd's partner wasn't around. Firefighters found the body after the Chelsea family began complaining that their tap water tasted strange, and at one point had begun to smell and turn a dark color.
Este sí fue un asesinato, 100% seguro.
I proceed to open the bag. The most important task in forensic identification of a drowned person is to distinguish whether the death occurred before or after entering the water.
Esta debe estar blanquita y arrugada. Blanquita y arrugada. Uy.
Okay, that could have been worse. I carefully removed the victim's clothes so as not to damage the skin. The deceased was one shoe was missing. I'm going to need the camera to document all possible suspicious marks. Definitely the first thing that stands out is the very advanced post-mortem gigantism. The skin of the deceased appears very delicate, smooth, and relaxed from being in the water for a long time. The whole body is extremely pale.
Bien, empecemos por la parte superior del cuerpo.
There are bruises and hemorrhages on the neck. These usually occur due to increased inhalation when fighting to breathe underwater.
Por si no lo sabían, al estar bajo el agua y te estás ahogando, hay un momento en el que tu mismo cuerpo te obliga a respirar y entonces el agua ingresa a tu cuerpo.
Post-mortem markings are seen on the underside of the body, that is, on the back, thighs, and calves of the deceased. It's likely that the deceased was lying on her back when she was fished out.
Arrugadita.
The so-called washerwoman's skin on the feet. The deceased had indeed been in the water for a long time. There are some obvious scratches on the skin. The skin on the hands can be easily separated from the body. The separation takes the form of a glove. So, after the preliminary exam, it's time to take a closer look at this. Today's date, the deceased was clothed. Rigor mortis does not need to be checked. Based on the state of decay, you can be sure it has subsided. Where to start? We see thick white foam in the mouth of the deceased, resulting from pulmonary edema. Foam is a characteristic in deaths due to drowning. There are obvious scratches on the skin, especially on the back and hands. These could be defensive wounds, evidence of some sort of altercation prior to death. The spots have a purplish blue-red hue, which is a typical sign of the death of the organism. No obvious signs of struggle. The skin on the hands would have easily peeled away from the flesh. Some of the fingers have already lost their nails. Yep, pretty typical. Livor mortis are formed as a result of putrefaction of blood in the veins. Due to the fact that the deceased was wearing shoes all the time, her feet are in better condition than her hands. Nevertheless, we can still notice a clear, wavy skin and the so-called washerwoman's skin texture. Okay, that's probably enough to indicate it. I'd better note that down in the records. Marks found on the neck and foaming at the mouth are typical signs of drowning people.
Claramente. La lanzaron viva al pozo, se ahogó. En conclusión, la causa de la muerte fue ahogamiento, pero fue un asesinato.
Those abrasions appear relatively fresh. No healing or scarring is visible. There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about this livor mortis. Hands heavily wrinkled from submersion of water, typical washerwoman skin. Diffuse spots are caused by blood rotting in the veins. Considering the deceased's penchant for drinking alcohol, it could have been a mere accident.
Por eso no explico los moretones, ¿o sí?
In this case, the question is, was drowning an accident or of suicidal intent? Maybe it's just abrasion, or maybe the result of a fight and being pushed into a well. Fortunately, the skin on the hands didn't fall off. Otherwise, I'd have trouble identifying the deceased. Liver mortis of a different color could indicate poisoning with carbon monoxide, cyanides, or nitrates. However, a simple trip, loss of balance, and as a result, you end up in a deep hole with no way out. Their distribution suggests that the victim was probably lying on her back when fished out of the water. That's all for now. Before I begin the dissection, I'll make sure the suggested identity is correct.
Del maletín para realizar un examen de huellas dactilares. Instrumento correcto, ¿cuál es? No, esta.
The suitcase with the fingerprint equipment should be around here somewhere.
Maletín.
Oh, here it is. If the body of the deceased is well preserved, fingerprinting is similar to that of a living person. With decomposing bodies, the tissue of the pads and the fingers tends to shrink. To remove these shrinkages, a mixture of glycerin or air is used. The fingerprint sheet should always be checked. Slipping fingers, too much or too little ink, or inaccurate hand position can make fingerprints illegible. I'm going to conduct a dactyloscopic examination. If in fact the deceased is in the police database, I will find her. Glycerin is injected successively between the nail and the skin of each finger. The substance then enters the fingertip, removing shrinkage and wrinkles. Now I take a brush. Only when the skin is taut and elastic can you use ink. I think it's enough. I'm getting fingerprint samples. In the case of drowning victims, you have to be extremely careful. The skin may fall off the hand like a glove when you take the print. I'll use the fax machine to add the print into the system. Green button and... Once the data uploads, I'll run the prints against the police database on the computer. Great. The data is there. Click upload.
Hagamos clic.
Now, go through the database and find a matching print.
Una huella que
Expect possible hours of fun.
Vaya, qué difícil. Esta no es esta. Arrasa todos los puntos. No entendí. Esta es esta.
One more. Analyze button. have a result? Everyone has a story to tell, even if it's just a police record. So, as predicted, the deceased turned out to be Harper Lloyd. That went smoothly. I'll print this out and attach it to the medical records. Great. Now I can go back to my inspection. I'm adding the name of the deceased. I'll start the internal examination by taking fluid from the victim's brain. A needle inserted through the nose will do the trick.
Selecciono la jeringuilla y obtengo una muestra para analizar las diatomeas.
If the victim was alive when she fell into the well, she must have swallowed water fighting for her life. And then diatoms, characteristics of pooled water like a well, got into the body.
Microscopio. Y no tengo el microscopio.
In the meantime, I'll check the sample under the microscope. I'm sure that these algae traces will be found in the samples taken from the well where police found the body.
Aquí. No me deja. No me deja, no me deja. Tal vez no sea aquí. Creo que me olvidé las muestras. Ah, aquí tengo el microscopio.
Now I need to adjust the knobs properly and place the diatom in the center of the slide. Diatoms are single-celled microscopic algae. I won't even notice an army of diatoms from this distance.
Brillo.
Nah,
No.
too much. Oh, I'm finally starting to see something here.
Justo ahí. Máximo.
Great. This way I'll see if I'm dealing with a large concentration of these algae.
Enfoque.
Perfect. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid, but rather a bad focus.
Zoom creo que está
I
demasiado.
won't even notice an army of diatoms from this distance. Great. This way I'll see if I'm dealing with a large concentration of these algae. And perfect. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid, but rather, perfect.
Presencia de diatomeas.
It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid, but rather a bad focus. As expected, we find the aforementioned algae in the solution. Their upper part, epitheca, which overlaps the lower, hypotheca, is clearly visible. The presence of diatoms in the brain samples taken indicate that the deceased was certainly alive when she fell into the water and was possibly conscious.
Claro. Por algo murió, por algo tiene la espuma. Porque murió estando viva, se ahogó.
Since there were diatoms in the brain, it means that many more of them must have entered the body. Studies of the rest of the organs will most likely confirm this hypothesis. I can finally get to the practical part. I must be extra careful because the skin of the deceased is very stretched. I wouldn't want an explosion here. You can immediately see a very large swelling of the organs. In addition, all internal organs are very congested. I proceed to remove the rib cage. It's easy to see that the ribs have been imprinted in the lungs. So, I'm going to start by drawing blood from the lungs for testing for diatoms. If diatoms were only present in the lungs, this would mean that the victim was placed in the well after death, and the perpetrator wanted to get rid of the corpse in this way. Now, I remove the lungs and proceed to their examination. Taking the lungs in my hand, I feel that the tissues have lost their elasticity, which is the result of water emphysema. In addition, there is significant swelling of the organs, and as a result, we have a nice imprint of the ribs. The emphysema itself, it's clear how far it's progressed, which is characteristic of drowning. Corpses found in water are worth examining with the tomograph. However, I can't count on such luxuries, so I must reach for a more archaic technology, a bucket and water.
Uso el cubo en el almacén para realizar la prueba. ¿Qué vi? Hay alguien aquí.
Who has anyone been here? I hope no one dipped a mop in it. It's best to go to the lab for this. Historically, the lung float test is used to detect infanticide. The water should be at room temperature. That's enough. To test for this, I have to place the lungs in a container of water. This checks if there is air in the lungs. And speaking of lungs, everything is ready to bring them here. Of course, such a study isn't without flaws. Air may have entered a newborn's airways during resuscitation attempts. Gases released during decomposition could also give a false result. In this case, however, it's about something else, namely, the amount of fluid in the lungs.
Si se hunde es porque hay
To test for
líquido.
this, I have to place the lungs in a container of water and wait to see if they fall or if they will float on the surface.
Vaya. Hay líquido.
Just as I assumed, the lungs collapsed easily. fluid could have entered the lungs during panic attempts to catch breath underwater, but it could also be the result of bacterial infections or cancer, so further investigation is needed. I move on to dissecting the lungs of the deceased. You can hear the distinct, very unpleasant crackling of the tissues being cut through. The parenchyma is remarkably pale, although small hemorrhagic foci and petechia are present on the surface. All right. Now, I will check the collected fluid under a microscope. If we find 20 diatoms on the slide, it can be considered drowning, and our result is not false positive due to possible contaminations. Let's see. Although I expect we'll find them easily, I won't even notice an army of diatoms from this distance. I won't even notice an army of diatoms. The aperture still needs the aperture still needs adjustment.
Ahí las veo.
The image is too dark. Great. This way I'll see if I'm dealing with a large concentration of these algae. Perfect. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid. But, perfect. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid. Perfect. It's not a dirty lens, perfect.
¿Y ahora qué? Aquí.
It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid, but rather a bad focus. Perfect. It's not a dirt perfect. It's not a dirt perfect. I won't even notice an army of diatoms from this distance. Great. This way I'll see if I'm dealing with a large concentration of these algae. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid, but rather a bad focus. Perfect. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid. Perfect.
No sé qué tengo que buscar. Ya me perdí. Diatomeas.
It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid, but rather a bad focus. Perfect.
Ni siquiera sé qué son diatomeas.
It's not a dirty lens, perfect. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid. Perfect.
Solamente veo algas. ¿Y qué más?
It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid. Perfect. It's not perfect. Oh, I'm finally starting to see something here. As expected, in solution, the diatoms are clearly visible. There are smaller and larger clusters of them. There will definitely be more than 20 of them. All a note of all this. So far, this case looks pretty standard. It's clear from the beginning that it's drowning. Well, the procedure requires me to check everything anyway.
El examen pulmonar indica ahogamiento húmedo. Además, el análisis microscópico ha revelado una gran cantidad de diatomeas en el fluido.
So, I move on to checking the other organs. I ligate the heart and then remove it for inspection. Strongly developed putrefactic hemolysis of the organ can be seen at first glance. Apart from that, no signs of a heart attack or other heart disease. I move on to the next organ. This time, it's the liver. It's immediately apparent that the deceased didn't care for herself. Like most organs, her liver is enlarged and severely congested.
Mucho alcohol.
The beginnings of cirrhosis are visible in some areas.
Cirrosis.
I transfer the organ to a board and proceed to dissect. The cross-section clearly shows dilated veins and many small hemorrhagic foci. I must admit that this is quite a feat, considering the rather young age of the deceased.
Muy alcohólica, ¿eh?
Harper enjoyed drinking so much that she might not have lasted a few more years.
Si no se moría por el ahogamiento, se moría por una cirrosis hepática.
I move on to the
Alcohólica.
stomach. I take a sample of the fluid for testing. It looks very turbid. I'll see what happens after spinning, but that's in a moment. Now, I carefully ligate the organ, then cut it off. It's enlarged, probably full of putrid gases. I transfer it to the board and carefully open it, checking the contents. One thing you'd never get used to is how much this desk smells. Okay, the stomach is full of fluid and unidentified organic matter, which is probably leftover food. So let's check the diatoms. Again. But in a centrifuge for a change. The problem with examining drowned people is being able to show whether the death was due to drowning or whether something else contributed to the death. Cramp, heart attack, drugs, homicide, or some accident. Such an analysis requires viewing from different angles and a careful interpretation of the collected data, including those from the field. That's why it's so important to collect as many samples as possible. Unfortunately. Okay, this is one last little sample. Now set.
Ya tomé. Tiempo 35 minutos, velocidad a 25%. 35 minutos. 35 minutos, velocidad de 25%. 35. Una velocidad de 25 milímetros. Estoy allí.
Done. I'll run it directly into the chromatograph and run it against the data from the police. I'm certain the analysis will show similarities between the fluid and water in Chelsea's well. Let me think. 3 milliliters should be fine.
13 ml.
Okay, now it's the chromatograph's turn. Yes, the water sample matches the one provided by the police. Well, the results are quite clear. I was hoping it would be a more interesting case. More diatoms. Analysis indicates the same origin. Blah, blah, blah. There's little left to do. I'm going to check the airway patency of the deceased. Interesting. Looks like there's something stuck in the trachea. I'm moving to the board for further inspection. I dissect the trachea and open the organ. Inside, I find a wedding ring. This is interesting. Let me look at it. Based on the size, I can say that it's a woman's wedding ring. Quite standard from the outside. There's an engraving inside. What the fuck? But this is my ring. Alice's ring. But how did it, but this should be at home. I have it. At home. I have to check. Where are my meds? Where the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, please don't make it go away. I have to check the apartment. It can't be. Jesus Christ.
No, muchacho. No creo que sea tu anillo. Más bien podría ser psicosis. Sí. Voy a dejar el cuerpo así.
Mr. Ridley. Mr. Ridley!
What's all the ruckus?
I need to go home. Immediately.
What? Now?
I have to. Have you seen anyone here this morning? Anybody suspicious?
Oh, there was no one. Dorothy was, but only for a moment, then she left. What's wrong with you, Hammond?
Okay. Thanks.
What about the corpse?
I'll come back, I promise.
Necesito una pastilla otra vez. Tú también te vas a morir por una sobredosis, hombre.
Jesus Christ! I have to check this out. This... Please be there. It can't be your wedding ring. It's not here. It's not. I need to go. I need to go. This is sick. Fuck. Come on, Steven. Pick up the fucking phone.
What's up, man?
They took the ring.
What? What ring? What are you talking about?
They took the wedding ring. Alice's wedding ring.
One sec. You mean burglary? You said nothing was missing.
Yes, I know that. I don't know. I was jittery. Maybe I didn't notice. I don't know, but that's not the worst of it.
Calm down, Jack. Breathe. What happened?
I found it in the trachea of the deceased I was working on. Do you understand? I pulled it out of a dead woman's trachea.
What?
I don't know what's going on. You think Red Pete wants revenge? He's playing with me. Huh? I knew it. I knew it from the beginning this was going to happen. I didn't make it up.
Jack, listen to me. Try to calm down. Don't leave the apartment. I'll be with you right away, okay? I'm on my way.
What sane person would do something like that? Fucking Ridley lets in whoever he likes as usual. What are you saying? Steven? Don't leave me, man. Come on. Fuck. Oh, God, what now? Okay, I need a drink.
¿En dónde está la copa? Siéntate en tu escritorio y sirve una copa. Aquí.
Jesus. What's going on? Just one sip more. Yep. Jesus. Okay. Yep. Okay.
Capítulo 3.
These reports will kill me one day. It's time to go to work.